Hi, everyone, and welcome to the PYA Crew Spotlight. Today, I am really pleased to welcome Tristan Mortlock, or the Super Yacht Captain. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Ria. At home this week on our final week of leave, and very keen to get this season started on board Motor Yacht AWOL. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it is, we are at the end of March now, and we're looking for April right around the corner. So, of course, that means that the Mediterranean season is starting to kick off. And are you looking for a busy season this year, do you think?
We hope so. I mean, the charter bookings aren't what we usually get, pre-COVID,
Yeah.
but we're getting lots of inquiries, which is very positive. And, we're getting lots of work done on board the boats. We'll be launching the boat the end of April, and then hoping to come to the south of France beginning of May. And then fingers crossed, we'll start getting some bookings, get some guests on board. And I'm sure the owner will be using the boat if we don't get too many charter bookings, but the crew are certainly keeping their fingers crossed in order to get some bookings in place and travel around the Med.
Nice. Well, let's go back because the whole point of this piece is to tell people what is so wonderful about yachting. So, for you, what was it that drew you to yachting? What was so fascinating about yachting that you thought, you know what, I'm going to be a captain one day?
I think it's a variety of things. I think even today, what excites me the most about yachting, even in almost 20 years in the industry, is going to a place on board the yacht for the very first time. As there's not many in the Med left, but there's still places we haven't been to. That feeling never goes away. We're going to a new place. I get very excited, do my research. I go online, where the best spots to anchor. I speak to our agents. I speak to other crew, other captains. And that's the exciting part. Getting into the yachting industry was, I think like most of us, it was supposed to be a summer job. And it was getting into my first day. I was supposed to be cleaning boats, and I was starting driving boats. And I was like, this is amazing. You're getting paid to be out in the Mediterranean Sea in the middle of summer, driving boats around, getting a suntan, rather than being stuck behind a desk in a cubicle 8 hours of the day. And it's not for everybody, but the people who are involved in yachting definitely have a certain open mindset, I would say, a lot, because there's all different cultures within the industry. And it's just, for me, it's been fantastic. I've been doing it for 20 years, since I was 16 years old, almost 20 years, since I was 16 years old. And it's been a fantastic career. Met some amazing people, have an amazing boss, and recently got married about 4 weeks ago. And
Congratulations. I didn't know
thank
that
you very
even.
much. And I met my wife through yachting. So it's been my whole life since I was 16 years old.
So, what advice would you give to those that are looking to get into the industry, as far as how to get in, and how to rise through the ranks?
Well, the truth is, because of the Superyacht Captain platform, I get this question a lot. How do I secure my first job? And I always say, again, this is open. Everyone's got different opinions. I always say you need to be in one of the yachting hubs, like yachting capitals, like the Palmers, the Antibes, the Monacos, the Fort Lauderdales. You need to be there physically in person. Now, in today's world, that's a lot more difficult because of COVID and travel restrictions. So a lot of people are doing things online. So my advice is, do your courses, speak to as many people as possible. Yes, join the crew agencies, but I think with crew agencies, it's a lot more difficult if for green crew. Get yourself on all the Facebook pages. You got Antibes Yacht Crew, Palmer Yacht Crew, Fort Lauderdale Yacht Crew. There's Greenies Yacht Crew, Monaco Yacht Crew. Get on all the pages. There are lots of boats posting jobs out there, and just apply to all the jobs. And the one bit of advice that I will give to everybody, even people that have been in the yachting industry for a long time, and it really frustrates me, is when a vessel puts a job position up, they'll put all the criteria. Okay, please make sure that you meet all the criteria. They're labeling the criteria for a reason. It's part of the safe manning. Okay, if you're sending your CV hoping for luck, you're wasting the employer's time, because they're going to be reading through the emails and then they can say, well, you haven't got your yacht master, you've got your powerboat level 2. When we request a yacht master, they're going to blacklist you because it's lack of care. And when you do send a CV, right, my advice is don't just say, please see attached. The amount of emails I get, 90% of them, it just says, please see attached. I refuse to open those emails. I won't even go through them. Because to me, it shows a lack of respect, certainly a lack of professionalism. But if they do an opening saying, you know, dear Captain or dear Tristan, my name is such and such. I saw your job posting on, you know, Palmer Yachtcrew. You know, these are my qualifications. These are my experiences. You know, would love to be a part of the team. You will find attached my CV and references. Let me know if you have any more questions. That'd be perfect. Just a few paragraphs, but there's a lot of lazy people out there. You can even have a template that you just copy and paste, but just show some care. That will be my advice. And I think what's the other thing that's you know, very important is unfortunately it's not possible at the moment is dock walking. Dock walking is very important. We've hired people in the past, dock walkers, and the thing with dock walking, it is timing. It's got to be the right place at the right time. But at the moment with COVID, it's a lot more difficult for people to be dock walking and looking for day work. So that would be my advice to people, you know, looking to join our wonderful industry.
Well, and before I let you go, what are the benefits at the end of the day? I mean, you know, if you get your head down, you continue to work, you work your way up through the ranks, you know, can you look forward to a great retirement and that kind of thing with yachting?
Look, at the end of the day, it's not for everybody. So people that are coming into the industry, you always have a perception of what something is. And when you actually go and do it, there's always slight differences or big differences. Okay. So it's not for everybody. People might find after 1-2 seasons, it's not for them. Okay. But there's a huge number of people that then pursue a career in the yachting industry. Now, if you can put your head down and you go and get your ticket, say, for example, you want to go down the captain route, you build up your sea time, you build up your watch time, you go to the, you know, the maritime schools like the Blue Waters or the Warsashes in the UK, and you build up your career, and you can earn a very, very good, healthy living, right? And then eventually for the more experienced people, they might then get rotation. So you're getting paid 12 months a year, but you only work 2 months on, 2 months off. So you get to spend time, you know, with your family. The other great thing about it from a career point of view is the people that you meet. You know, I've been fortunate, not only the crew that I've met, but the charter guests we've had on board. I wish I could name some of the people that I've met in this industry, like people who I'm just like, think this is amazing, like big business tycoons. And, you know, I'm not so wowed about the famous people, but just people who are doing big things, you know, on earth. I managed to meet them, and it's amazing meeting those people. Like, this is a highlight, you know, of a career. It's meeting certain people or people that you look up to, or, you know, that are important to you and think are doing great things in the world. And yes, it can be hard because you are spending time away from family, but it's about the balance. And if you put your head down, you can make a very good living, and your office is a bridge looking out a window out on the sea. You could be cruising Croatia or Sardinia, and you're like, this is my office window. And that never gets boring. It never gets boring.
Well, Tristan, you know what? That's amazing. And of course, you know, follow Super Yacht Captain, because you'll see everything that Tristan is up to on YouTube. And how often? It's once a week that you post out a new video, no?
Yeah, once a week, more or less. Sometimes a bit less, depending. Obviously, the priority is the job, but I try and do once a week, normally every Wednesday.
Nice. Well, you know, we wish you the best of luck, and congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know what? My poor wife, she waited 10 years before we got married. So finally, it's done now. So she's. But we're both very happy. We're both
spoken like a true man. Finally, it's done now.
Yeah. No, but I mean for her, because she waited a long time.
Yeah.
The poor lady. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you ever so much again for your time, and thank you to the audience for watching. You've been watching another edition of the PYA Crew Spotlight. This has been Captain Tristan Mortlock of AWOL. And of course, follow him on Superyacht Captain. My name is Ria. I have been your host. Please tune in again next week for another episode. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of PYA Crew Spotlight. This week, we are joined by Captain Douglas Meier. He is, of course, the host of The Bottom Line, which airs pretty much across any yachting Facebook and social media site around the planet every single week. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. Well, you've got to do your opening. I'm sorry, we have to have the opening.
The opening. Hey everybody, I'm Doug.
There we go. Now, see, I if you haven't seen it, you've at least heard that, I'm sure. Listen, part of the reason that we do the PYA Crew Spotlight is to let everybody out there know what is so amazing about yachting, how you got into yachting, and perhaps give a little advice to those that are coming up or considering it as a career. So in your case, where were you from and how did you ever get into yachting?
I was born in New Jersey, and right outside of Princeton, and my parents had a shore house. We call it the Jersey Shore, and I had a little 13-foot Boston whaler. And I guess my dad gave that to me when I was about 12, and I have literally spent more time with water under my feet than on land since. And why did I get into yachting? Well, obviously because of the girls. No. Like many people and a lot of crew, I think there's two types of crew in yachting. The one type of crew are the crew that are there for the money. And we all know that there's a lot of money in mega yachts. And then you have the other type of crew that are there because they love the ocean, the sea, the traveling, the whole operation. I'm in the love the sea part. You don't even have to pay me for what I do, although I'll take the check.
I was going to say I won't tell the boat owners that you'll do it for free.
Well, I've told them several times I'm not here for the money. I think any crew member that is doing it because they love to do it will have an exceptional career. I think a lot of crew that if you're just in it for the money, you can have a successful run at it, but until you get that tug on your heart, I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing, if that makes sense.
So let me ask you then, if what they say, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Is that true for you? I've
never worked a day in my life. And I know a lot of people say that, but I can truly say that. I decided when I was 13 or 14 that I was going to be a captain. And I didn't want to be a captain of a commercial tanker or something because they seem to be gone an awful lot. And so I did focus on yachts. And as soon as I made that decision, I joined the U.S. Naval Sea Cadets, which is a youth program with the Navy, the U.S. Navy. And actually, when I was 15, I participated in Navy boot camp, which was quite interesting. So by doing that, it allowed me to serve on the USS Nimitz, an aircraft carrier, and a submarine tender called the Spear, which was about 900 feet long, during the summers. So I was one of those kids where I was just joking, I'm in yachting for the women. Well, when I was 15, 16, and 17, while my friends were chasing girls around, I was on the deck of an aircraft carrier trying to learn more. This whole thing was put in place so I could eventually join the Coast Guard. Back then, there was about a 1 to 2 year wait to get into the U.S. Coast Guard. However, I learned that if you did this program, that you would go to the front of the list. So I did. I went to the front of the list, and that started my Coast Guard career. Frankly, looking back, I'm quite amazed that at this very young age I made all those right decisions. Because, but they were good decisions. I really am surprising myself that I made those decisions. So I did the Sea Cadet program with the Navy to get into the Coast Guard, and I got into the Coast Guard to run yachts. So 5 years in, I made the transition, and I was in yachting for about a year and a half as mate engineer on 114 or 35 meter. And I had an opportunity to take over a 106 footer, which would be about 33 meters. And that's what started all. I've been literally, I was 26 years old, 25. That started my yachting career, and I've been a captain literally ever since.
Which is only about 5 years.
Yes, I sail a lot, so I look older. I'm in the sun. I can tell everybody who's thinking about a career in yachting, I have never worked a day in my life. I absolutely love what I do. I look forward to every day. I'm one of those captains that takes 7 days off a year. A lot of people are pushing for rotation. I only want to work this long, and I get it. I marry myself to the boat. I do take a day off here or there to make up for it, during the week or when things are a little slow. But I'm not one of those guys that like, okay, I'm gone for 5 weeks, hire another captain, and I'll be back. I'm pretty much I immerse myself in the program, every program I've ever run.
What type of attitude would you suggest people have when they go into yachting?
I think the best attitude is one of extreme self-confidence, and if you don't know what you're doing, fake it or lie about it till you get there. No. I'm totally joking. Don't go in there like that. I think the best attitude is when you're starting out, just be a sponge. Don't look at this as a job. I think a lot of people get hung up on wages, and there's a constant battle within social media about wages. And frankly, as a new crew member, wages are completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. If you're making this much and the guy on the boat next to you is making that much, it means nothing. This is your schooling. This is your the beginning of a career, and you don't look at the money. You need to look at the experience. I highly recommend that someone take a lower paying job where that yacht is cruising to the Med, the Caribbean, New England, or wherever, versus a higher paying job where they sit, say, in Fort Lauderdale for 9.5, 10.5 months a year. You're not going to learn anything. Yeah, you're making more money, but I've constantly run into yacht crew that I've been on the boat 6 months, and then when I get them on my boat, I'm like, what's a bowling? You got to be kidding me. Well, we did a refit. We didn't really go anywhere. The owner didn't use the boat. I only met the owner once for 4 days. You have to put the wages aside. You have to use this as a learning experience. It's an investment. You might not be making a lot of money now, but the experience you gain will be setting your wage 10 years down the road. And then you'll be making the right amount of money, or even more. You'll be making a lot more money than that guy that was sitting in Lauderdale for 11 months a year with no experience, just collecting a paycheck.
Well, and realistically, like you say, long term, the rewards are amazing. Absolutely amazing. You can pick and choose as long as you keep your nose clean and work as hard as you possibly can. You can be set.
I haven't had to write a resume in 18 years. That sounds like it's bragging. That's not true. The insurance company every once in a while bugs me for one. But I think it's imperative when you start out your career that you gain as much knowledge as you can, and then keep building on that. And then you'll get to a point where you're known and you don't have to hunt for work. Work hunts for you. I'm known as a long-term captain. In other words, when I get on a boat, I stay on a boat, and I try and build that career, whatever my job I've been tasked with. While you're quietly building your career and quietly getting the job done, people take notice. And I think a lot of crew make the mistake of letting everybody know what they're doing. And as a captain, it's not really useful to do that. What you need to do is you need to let every boat owner know what you're doing. And the best way to do that is to do the best job you can. So your boss, who talks to his friend who happens to own a yacht, or he talks to the boat manufacturer or the boat broker or the people who are in contact with the owners, this is the guy you want. I constantly tell people that out of 100 available captain jobs out there, 5% of the captains keep getting all of the jobs. There's a reason for that, because they have a reputation. So again, if you're in this for the love of the sea and you spend your early years building on experience and getting out there, and I'm not talking about bouncing from boat to boat, it's more of real experience, crossings, seasons in each area, stuff like that. There'll be a day when you don't need to have a resume either. You know, every time I get off a boat, first thing in my mind is I'm unemployed. And then usually within 3 hours, I get a phone call and they're like, oh yes, we want you to come join our program. We've been watching the boat you're running is finally sold and we've been waiting. That's where you want to be. That's where a lot of captains are, you know, a lot of good captains. So that's something to strive for.
Well, you know what, as always, you have come with some great advice and a great story as well. So we thank you very much for your time, Captain Douglas Meier.
Hey, listen, it's always a pleasure. Everybody, please stay safe out there. And, you know, I'll leave you all with this. Most careers are what you make of it. If you're just there to punch a clock, then that's what you're going to get. But if you really immerse yourself in your job, you're going to find out that it is the most rewarding career, I think. One of the most rewarding careers out there that very little people in the general world know about. And you do get to jump on a jet once in a while, private jet. You know, you have your wives and your girlfriends show up on a yacht anchored off some island once in a while. So it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work, but the rewards are definitely there. And I highly encourage anyone that has an inkling that this is what they want to do to pursue it.
Thank you. And once again, Captain Douglas, he has his own show that airs across all social media channels every week on Tuesday evening CET time, afternoons for the Eastern states, called The Bottom Line Yachting Industry News. So tune into that and like and share his pages. We thank you for your time. You've been watching another PYA Crew Spotlight. My name is Ria. I've been your host. We'll see you again next week.